Mr. Willie Bradford. Is that okay? All right, we'll start with the first question. You will have 2 minutes for this question. Do you have the mic over there? Okay. What is your primary idea to stimulate economic development in the Martin Luther King community? 2 minutes on this question.
Actually, the streets. Most of you know, you're familiar with the Hersey D. Wilson project. The positive thing about the Hersey D. Wilson, it's not on? It's not, it is on? Okay, am I losing minutes? No. The positive thing about the Hersey D. Wilson project is the first.
We call time.
Oh, this one's on.
This one is on.
Well, I have a big mouth, y'all can hear me. But speaking of economic development, the Hersey D. Wilson project, the first time in the history of politics, myself, not patting myself on the shoulder, but as a black elected official, female, and my father being a minority, Hersey D. Wilson, this is the first time in the history that a politician have actually constructed a street named after a minority, that have minority contractors, a minority architect, and all of the employees are minority. So not only did we get a fair share, we got the whole pie. So that is on these streets in the near future. When we hire our contractors, when we hire our architects, we need to consider hiring those, hiring the minorities and getting what you all have been fighting for, and that is your fair share.
All right, thank you, Ms. McCullough. Mr. Cooper, the same question.
Well, when I served before city council, I have my sheet here where I paid David Range, Russell Road, etc. And I believe that a representative should represent all the people, because it's not a personal thing. Everybody that pays taxes, I will work for you because you're hiring me. So I believe that the entire Cooper Road area should be given some attention. And I think we should keep it real. Whatever my word should be my bond. Whatever I say, I will do it. If I'm not going to do it, I will tell you I'm not going to do it. Because it's too important. And we're too far behind other cities now because we play too many games when it comes to politics. And we need good leaders. God ordained it to be so. All of us can't go down and say we want this done, that done, but we need a representative we can trust to go down and speak for us and not be brainwashed or bought out or sell out or scared to tell it like it is. So I think in the past I've already made what elderly people can sit on their porch without having to run, because if you read my sheet, you'll see where I stopped it. Drug dealers from going down in the neighborhoods because I asked the police to do their job. Park there where the drug dealer is dealing dope. That's your job. Because the police is not the law, he's the law enforcer. And me, as a city councilman, I am not the city, but I am there to carry out the needs and the wishes of the people. So I think we should be more real and serve all the people. Everybody deserves a piece of the pie. It's not a personal thing. If I pay a tax, I need something done for my taxes. Or don't let me pay taxes. I remember Cooper Road was not a city limit. We annexed this into the city limit. That's why the roads are so bad. Because back in that day, wherever you found a piece of land is where you built your house. You throw your hut up. There wasn't no landscaping, you just put it there wherever you have some land. And that's why it's like it is. Now other parts of the district, like Cherokee Park and North Highland, Allendale, those roads were built for people to live in the neighborhood. This wasn't. That's why it takes so much money to fix one street. Because you got to go down and dig it all up and pour down concrete and everything else in order to fix it. So you got to spend more money on one street of any you have to spend over the whole other district. Is that fair? Oh.
All right, we're out of time. We're going to move on to Mr. Willie Bradford. Same question. Economic development in the Martin Luther King community.
Thank you. Thank you for the question. I spoke with the North Shreveport Business Association. Matter of fact, I'll be visiting with them again tomorrow. I also spoke with the director of the Board of Shreveport Boulder. I get tired, like you do, of going up and down the streets of Martin Luther King and see young men and old men congregating under trees on street corners who are able-bodied, who can work, but yet they don't have the opportunity to work because they don't have either the skills, they don't have transportation, or they have other issues that may have prevented them. But we can do something about that. What you don't know is, and you probably do know, is that the Eagles Business Association, the Eagles Business District, is within District A, which which is in walking distance or bus ride from the MLK area. Okay? The Port of Shreveport Bossier is not only responsible for economic and business development at the port, they also have the jurisdiction over the whole parish, including District A. I've got a commitment from Eric English that we will look at opportunities in the Acres business to where they can bond and create economic development within walking distance from this area, which will give preferential hiring, because this is what the Acres Business Association had told me, and we can work with them on that, to where our employment opportunities will be available to residents of this area. And we're going to continue to bring business development within this area. My background and my experiences tell me that we can do that, and I'm going to do everything I can to do that. I will fight to make that happen. I fought to make it happen, and I will fight to make that happen. In 4 years, you will see more business, you will see more employment opportunities for the residents of this area. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Bradford, we're going to go ahead and move on to the second question with you.
Sure.
That question is, the repair and maintenance of streets is a critical issue in our community. What is your plan to ensure the repair and maintenance of our streets? 1 minute for this question.
I will be equitable in the disbursement of city resources when it comes to streets throughout this district. I think it's unfair that out of the $3 million that was allocated to each council person that could have been utilized broadly was utilized to repair 2 streets, not to asphalt overlay them like 90% of the streets in this community are, but to reconstruct and pave a street for $2.7 million and another street for $500,000. That's not fair. Listen, I represent everybody, okay? Which means that everybody should have had a piece of that pie. 21 streets could have been asphalt overlaid for the $3 million, and yet it's a judgment thing, y'all. It's a judgment thing that you have to be considerate of everybody you represent. You can't just pave a street and reconstruct the whole street just because it's named after your daddy. That ain't fair. It's not fair. That's the way we do business in this town. My background tells me that if you got
I'm sorry, we're out of time, Mr. Bradford. All right, next question, or the same question, Mr. Cooper. The repair and maintenance of our streets is a critical issue in our community. What is your plan to ensure the repair and maintenance of our streets?
Well, being one that has been and still am living in the hood, I haven't gotten enough money out of politics yet to move out of the hood and look back at the hood people. I am a hood brother.
All right, man.
So I will make sure that somebody from city, just like I have in the past, make sure that they do at least overlay the streets so we can drive on without tearing up our cars. And that's every street that I can until the money runs out. Not just 1 or 2, and I don't want to name nothing after me. Just name it after fix it. Because we need these roads fixed so bad, you almost tear up your vehicle riding down these streets. And that's senseless. We pay as much taxes as we pay. As long as I pay taxes, I have a voice. And if you don't let me have a voice, then I want to withdraw my taxes and live in the part where I can just own myself. If you own the city, then you do what you want. But you don't own this city, it ain't your city. When you die, I'll show you. It'll still be left when you gone. So what we need to do is think common sense wise. You choose the person you think that will listen to you, listen to your cry, hear you,
We're out
and
of time,
feel
Mr.
you.
Cooper. I'm sorry about that, we're out of time.
So I guess I better stand up this time, huh?
Yeah.
Let me say, I don't know if you're aware, and I made my constituency aware that in the city of Shreveport, we need $128 million for prioritized streets throughout every district. I don't know if you all are aware, and I don't know if you read the street challenge in the Shreveport Sun, September 17th. But we have a $128 billion need. In District A alone, where we live, we have a $28 million prioritized need. So $3 million would not take care of a $28 million need. Be mindful that the most recent concrete paved street within the MLK area, it was either Russell Road, Ardrey Lane, one of the 4. They ran 2.7 million, 2.2 million, all of which are named by someone. But the fact remains, Hersey Wilson was a transit street used daily by your solid waste, by your city bus, by your children walking to and from school, no sidewalks.
I'm sorry,
So
we're out of
you
time,
can't-
Ms. McCullough.
Okay.
We'll move on to the next question. Ms. McCullough, you can answer it. It says that the Cooper Road Martin Luther King community is the second largest black community in America, yet since our incorporation into the city of Shreveport, the Shreveport City Council has never truly embraced our community with strategic community development planning, nor have they made significant financial investments into our awesome community. If elected, what will you do to direct the appropriate attention and financial resources into our community? 2 minutes for this question.
Okay, and let me just remind, I know Ken Epperson, you remember how hard my father, when he was in office, fought against annexation for this very reason. But I will continue to do as I've been doing in the past, and that is seeking, collaborating with other resources, the Shreveport Chamber of Commerce, all of which we have now a street pavement management program, all of the necessary resources to get money channeled back into this neighborhood. I will continue to seek out those resources. Actually, we have fallen short because we have annexed. I haven't seen a difference since we annexed in the 1970s. So, and be mindful that there was a sequestration in 2012 that we were going to have budget cuts. We had an $85 billion budget cut with the military. We had $700 to $800 worth in budget cuts for family and children's services. So this is to be expected based on the sequestration of 2012. Everything is going to be cut, more so now than ever before. And I'm sure our state representatives are here and they can vouch for this as well. So just know that you have a representative that have made you aware of the sequestration when I travel to Washington, D.C. to see about getting your rates, getting financial assistance from the feds to prevent the water rates from going up. So again, I have been on the battlefield and I have been looking out for this district, and I will continue to do that the next 4 years if you elect me as your city councilman.
Same question to Mr. Cooper.
I will seek out some of the nonprofit organizations and see if the city cannot work with them and create some jobs for some of the local people so that they can have someone they can relate to, and teaching the young people how to have skills and how to have mannerism and how to deal with the customer when they come and work with them and how to carry themselves so that we can work together with the city helping us with some of the local people, because we have a lot of nonprofit organizations I've been striving for years. Myself, for one, I have Words in Action, been had it for many years. I've taken children to Martin Luther King's house and to their church, etc., trying to show some inner city youth that there is a way out of this type of attitude. Plus, we can change right where we are. We don't always have to move. Everybody don't have to move out of the neighborhood. Some of us can change the neighborhood. It's more decent tax-paying people than they are thugs and hoodlums. Most people wear their pants up, they sag. I don't sag. So there's a lot of people. We need to set an example. Quit moving out and looking back at those people. Because we are those people when it boils down to it. Every one of us practically came up in some neighborhood kind of rough. But now we got a couple of dollars coming in, taxpayers are paying our salary, we dress nice and getting our nice rides and looked at those people. Somebody need to go, you are the somebody. Some of those your grandchildren, your children, and you got your nose in there. Grandma's still in the hood. And you wouldn't go visit because you don't, so what we need to do is change our attitude towards faking and fronting all the time and be real about this thing. And go ahead on and look at our children, work with them, mentor them. Don't just throw them out there. We have a neighborhood in our neighborhood in Allendale. The white people that moved in, and they got the whole place changed, looking just as nice. Right on the next street, there we have things ragged and nasty, hanging down, posts. We got police and we paying their salary. Many won't even want to ride by there because they don't want to work. But if we pay taxes, you work or get out. And I think that's what we politicians need to do. If you don't want to do your job, don't run for office just to look good and talk noise. Come on, man. Do what you're supposed to do. If you're a mayor of the city, we should have never had this garbage dumped in our neighborhood. That trash was dumped. We had folks representing us and let the man build a dumping ground there.
We're out of time. Thank you, Mr. Mr. Bradford, the same question.
I mean, it's actually it's an embarrassment and a travesty that over 30 years in the community has not benefited from city resources. And the reason is leadership. I mean, let's just say we couldn't do anything. At least we ought to have people knowing that you fought for us, fighting to make it happen. I mean, again, if you was competent and qualified, you had the courage to demand your fair share of the city resources, then things would have changed in this district, in this community. Now, when I became employed with Willis Knight over 25 years ago, one of the things we did, Willis Knight, we lobbied to put a clinic up here, hoping that would have been a catalyst for other new businesses development that come up here. Some have, but yet it had not panned out like we planned to be. This is my plan to do this. Same plan I use in Queensborough. We got to organize the community better. I know we got the MLK-CDC, and I know we got the Civic Club, but we need other organizations. This is the way it works, y'all. The city of Shreveport is not a panacea. It can't cure everything, okay? But you can. I want to organize at least 2 other community groups. I want to get you 501c3 status, okay? Right now, residents come to the city and saying, you know, we want you to do this, we want you to do that. That's not the way it works. In Queensborough, when we changed Queensborough, this is the way it works. It works like this. Don't come to the city saying, this is what I want you to do for us. Come to the city saying, we want to do this for ourselves. All we need is your help. Resources will come to individuals, because the city council is not a panacea. He or she would not make everything happen at one time, but working with other community groups and organizations, we can move a lot further. And I promise you, in 4 years, if I'm elected, we'll make that difference.
Mr. Bradford, you can answer the next question for us. What is the budget breakdown for the city of Shreveport, and what is your plan to generate more revenue to enhance the quality of life for Shreveport citizens? 1 minute on this question.
The annual budget for the city is over $500 million. $500 million. Including capital projects, is over $1 billion. But how much of that comes to District 8? Listen, y'all. Somebody once told me, I think Hillary Clinton said, listen, city council is not a prayer meeting. It's more like a bear meeting. You got to fight. You got to make your voice heard. You got to fight for your portion of the resources, because you pay taxes too. This community is over 15,000 residents. You deserve better than what you're getting. But the question is anybody fighting for you? You know, we can make a difference. I promise you that your fair share of city resources will come to this district, because we'll make it happen, even if we have to do some radical things. Thank you very much.
All right, Mr. Cooper, the same question.
Well, I represent District 8. I have in the past, and when I represent you again, I make sure that everybody gets their fair share. I'm not going to stand here and tell you that I'm only going to work for and fight for MLK. I'm going to fight for the entire District 8, not just MLK, because I think that everybody that pays taxes, every citizen, should be treated fairly. Now, we need our roads fixed up here, but up in North Highland, roads are pretty good, but they want a flower bed in front. I will put the flower bed there because they pay taxes too. Everybody don't need the same thing, but everybody need to be treated fair. Make sense? So that's what I will do. If you elect me, I will serve. And you will know where I am, because I'm right there in the neighborhood, so you don't have to worry about trying to find me or call the secretary, get an answer machine, another answer machine. I won't run you around like that. I'll answer the phone, I will answer yes or no to your question and not hide from you. And I won't play games with you, because I think now it's time we need to be real with each other. There's too much faking going on in every neighborhood now. People are not real anymore. And look at what we're losing our son. Did you know it's legal, just about legal, to kill a black boy?
Mr. Cooper, we're out of time. I'm sorry about that. Ms. Wilson-McCulloch, same question.
Yes, I want to make you all aware and remind you that we had $5 or $6 million for streets through the stimulus package. You know where that money went? To I-49. So yes, we've had monies, but you know, with the budget cuts, monies are being shifted around. But I can promise you, through working, as I said, what I've already been doing, and that is working with other resources, other agencies, with the associations. On the MPC, I served as a chairperson to change the Unified Development Code, which hasn't been changed since I was 2 years old, and I'm 58 now. And that code modernizes developments and things of that nature that you so wish to remain and those that you wish to be removed. Until we get those codes changed, this city will not move forward the way that it should move forward. But just know that I'm there fighting. I've been fighting, and each time each and every one of you have ever called on me, I don't know anybody in here that have actually, and I say called on me, not called at me,
we're out of time.
I answered. Thank you.
I'll let you answer the next question. What is your plan to help us ensure that the Harrelson landfill is shut down? 1 minute on that question.
Well, as far as I can recall, 2 weeks ago, we met with we met with DEQ and EPA, and we're guaranteed that the landfill is shut down. So I don't know that the landfill will reopen, because the owner in the landfill was told that he would have to leave, and the state would come in and put the fires out, and once the state comes in to put the fires out, they would have the owner to come back, Mr. Hicks, and clean up the landfill. So I'm almost sure and positive that that landfill will not reopen again due to the health hazard that it has caused, not only to our community, but most of all to our senior citizens. So I'm guaranteed at this point, based on our meeting 2 weeks ago, we didn't come back and tell you it was closed, and then when you looked around, the gate was open and trucks were driving up in there. When you pass by there now, since our meeting 2 weeks ago with EPA and DEQ, the gates are closed. So I'm almost positive that the landfill will not reopen.
We're out of time, Ms. McCullough. Mr. Cooper, the same question.
If I'm elected, I will make sure that it closes and stay closed. Because if they don't respect my wishes of closing and keeping it closed, then I will file a lawsuit against them, whoever it is. I'll play no games with them. And I will give them a set time to close it. And when I was in a meeting lately, I understand they want to keep it going so they can keep drawing some money, and they're going to close it later on as they draw money. But no, that's camouflage. If you want to close, you can shut it down now and stop the truck from coming in. So I will make sure, or the city will hold them liable and responsible for closing it or suffer a lawsuit. And I'll get with all of the other politicians working in Baton Rouge to help me on that level, because I work as a city representative, but then I need their help as well at Baton Rouge. And I will contact them and see if they can help me to take care of that business, because it never should have been created in the first place. But I ever living here and smell that stuff, they couldn't put it anywhere else but right here. You ever thought about where they put it? There are a lot of places. It's a big city. Why right here? Because we don't speak up enough. We don't stand together. We're so divided. We just criticize each other all the
We're out
time.
of time, Mr. Cooper. Mr. Bradford, the same question.
The landfill was burning for 4 years. There was a big explosion on June the 8th. I was notified about the explosion. I immediately called a meeting at my facility to talk about the landfill and the health, the safety risks that the residents was enduring because of that. The mayor called a meeting a day ahead of my meeting and gave some reports. My point is that I have been working with Senator Tarver since June the 8th. We met with the DEQ 4 times. We had individual meetings. As of 7 days ago, DEQ, well, let me go back a month ago, the DEQ gave Harrison a criteria on what needs to happen by October 1st, or they was going to take over the extinction of that fire, and they was going to take over.
We're out of time, Mr. Bradford.
And it's closed. The landfill is closed.
You can wrap, 1 minute wrap, and your platform and your wrap.
Residents, let me just say this. This is a very crucial election, not only for the mayor, but for the city council. We had a crossroads in Shreveport. I think Jackie Dozier said it properly. The best way you can tell what somebody is going to do is what they've done. If you don't do nothing else, do this for me. I want you to examine everybody up here on this podium. Examine their work, examine what they're doing. Don't listen to what they say now, because what they say don't always equate to what they're doing. If you would examine each of us up here and vote your conscience, I think you'll make the right decision. But as far as District A, there's no one on this podium that has the experience, that has proven, that has the know-how to make the quality of life better for the residents of District A. I work up here. I have an investment up here, and I'm telling you that we will do better because because of my leadership and my experience have prepared me to do this. Thank you.
Mr. Cooper, 1 minute wrap and platform.
Yes, ma'am. Work and experience has been my life. I have raised 3 children as a single parent, put them through school, and they left here and went to Dallas to get jobs because there aren't any jobs here. and I'm raising one more now by myself. I can't raise them with a wife for some reason. I'm too hard-headed. But I raise the children. I can leave a woman, but I don't leave my children. I can divorce the wife, but I can't divorce my blood. And I wish the brothers would pick up on that. Stop leaving your children, because that's your job. You got them help take care of them. But anyway, make a long story short, I will represent just as I have in the past. If you will take one of my sheets, you'll see what I've already done. May the works I've done speak for me. I'm not just a bunch of hot air noise. No, I'll do what I say, or I'll say what I'm just going to tell it like it is. And I'm not trying to look good or be proper or anything, because I don't know a whole lot of big words. I got education, but my education ain't as good as a lot of these people. But I do have a heart. I had the heart of Jesus to help anybody. And anybody know me know that. And I'm going to be honest with you and frank with you. I'm not going to play games. I never have.
We're out of time, Mr. Cooper. Thank you.
I want to preach.
We'll have church in a few minutes. Let me just say, first of all, I'm serving you not because of the desire of Hershey D. Wilson, not because of the desire of myself, but because I was called. And I'm going to continue to serve you because I am compelled and called to continue to serve you. I have been serving you for over 16 years now, and I'm looking forward to serving you the next 4 years. I have always been a voice for this community. Right now, you know, I'm fighting for our city employees to get raises. Most of you all know I fought against the 15-year leases that came up here from 2004 to 2007, all by myself, and a lot of you sitting here today. Also, I want the senior citizens to know that you have not been excluded from the community development services and programs. Just know that over 83 senior citizens have been served, and over $700 million have been spent for services such as those services that you have been requested. And it is my goal to make sure your names get added to those lists. Thank you.
All right. Let's give these candidates a hand. We're going to move forward in